Hi everyone, it's me Hatsy, and today I am back with part 2 of King Triton's castle, or Ariel's underwater castle. So apologies for the delay. I really wanted some time to look over this and see what I could make out of the inside of this castle. I was stuck for ages because I actually ended up watching the first film, or at least the prequel, so Ariel's beginning, I believe, and the inside was nothing like I imagined. It was really dark, there wasn't a lot of furniture from what I could see, and pretty much everything, like including the girls' beds, were just unmakeable in the game. Like, I could not have had shells for beds. I would have loved that, but maybe in future expansion packs and stuff packs we can, but just at the moment we just have normal beds and stuff like that, so apologies. But anyway, I did my own thing, so I used my imagination and I really wanted a massive throne room. Now, I don't think I've ever actually made a throne room before, so I was really excited to actually make this room. I used ice cream cones, which I think got a little bit of hate in the last video. But no, some people don't like the ice creams, and that's absolutely fine. But I'm going to use them anyway because I want to make the castle how I would imagine it, and I would imagine massive trident-like things in the castle. I really like the idea of including like really gold items to match the outside of it, because the outside has a glow to it, and I really wanted the interior to stand out, and that's what I did here. So I had a lot of fun. I thought that this room I would try and add like loads of outdoor furniture, loads of ivy and stuff. Now, ivy, for some reason, it doesn't work very well inside buildings. I really hope they fix that. I don't know if they're going to, but when it comes to doing ivy inside, wow, does it look terrible. I can't even start. It looks awful. It's really dark and it just doesn't look like the normal ivy. It's just so strange. But it could pass a seaweed, which is absolutely fantastic because seaweed is slightly darker, and of course this build would have a lot of seaweed, as I would imagine. And also, the build was actually redecorated about 3 times. And the reason why I actually decorated it 3 times was because I lost the footage 3 times in a row. And what happened was, the first time my game stopped because there was like a glitch with The Sims 4. If you had loads of screenshots in your catalogue, they fixed it now, but that was a massive problem for me for some reason. So every now and then my game would stop responding and I'd be like, why? I have a really fast computer, but yeah, I have like 1,000 screenshots of The Sims. So yeah, I mean, that was exactly why. And then the second time was when I was using Action, which is the program that I record with. It stopped responding, which is pretty rare for Action, but I think that happened because I was running like a million programs at once. I do that, I honestly do that. I had the film on because I had Ariel's beginning on, I had my recorder, I had Action, I had The Sims, I had Spotify, I think, as well, because I like that. But sometimes I like to stop the film and play some music, and that's exactly what I did there. So a little bit of an odd combination, but that's what I did. And I also have loads and loads of things running. Yeah, but anyway, this was the throne room. So I used rugs. I really like those rugs though. I haven't enlarged them, I don't think, before in that order. So I haven't used them as like stepping stones or anything. I think it looks pretty good, and I would love to see Ariel and her father and other people living here. Now, of course, I couldn't include all the characters, but I actually took a lot of suggestions from the last video that I did because I got so many helpful suggestions. So thank you so much if you commented on that video, because honestly, I could not have built this without all those suggestions. It was fantastic. I got suggestions saying you should add this, you should have all the rooms together, which belong to the girls. So Ariel has 6 sisters, I believe. So all of them together represent the 7 seas, which is so amazing. And of course, if you want me to create a sim of them, let me know, because I love creative sims. And of course, if you want to see more Disney castles, let me know as well, because honestly, the comments are the most helpful things ever. So all the girls' rooms are actually together in the build, and we'll see that in a little bit. And I was really proud of how that turned out. I also included a bedroom for Ursula because she actually works there. And this is the oddest thing though, because when I was watching Ariel's beginning, I was thinking all the way through, that can't be Ursula. And it was. I was so surprised. And I usually predict films and stuff. I could not predict that. And it might sound ridiculous to some people because it was blatantly Ursula. When I look back now, it couldn't have been anyone else. But I was seriously contemplating it. I was like, I don't know if that's her. But yeah, it was. I was really surprised. So this was actually a little sitting room. I actually wanted to include like really laid back sitting rooms in the build. I really like the idea of them just swimming in and just sat down here. I don't know if mermaids would sit down. Yeah, of course they would, because they'd sit on the rocks. Yeah, okay, I get that now. So yeah, it was actually a really sad film, and I was a little bit unsure as to why the father favorited Ariel. And when I found out, I actually cried. I'm not even joking. I cry at loads of things though. I can't stop. Like, Disney films just get to me. The Lion King gets me. Ariel does. What other films? I think maybe Frozen a little bit. Not a lot though. Not as much as one of the others, like I think Cinderella. That got to me. But yeah, let me know what gets to you in the comments below. Because honestly, some films I can't watch without tearing up. And there's other really happy Disney films. Oh my gosh, Pocahontas. That was not a happy film. That was so sad and it was so beautiful. But yeah, I'm probably going to do like a Pocahontas inspired build at some point, and that'll be pretty interesting. I really like the idea of doing like maybe some tents and things. I really like the idea of taking the tree out of Pocahontas and doing a build for that, so that might be coming in the future. Anyway, I was back to the throne room because I was not finished in here. I actually wanted to redo some of the stuff, so I used some cupcakes and really odd things, and I didn't actually like that chair, so that chair will go in the end. But yeah, I was trying to make it as grand as possible, even though I fully know, I'm 100% sure that the throne room does not look like this at all. I actually saw it in the film and it was just a very dark chair that he sits on. That's really all I can say about that throne room. But I wanted to make my own. So what I would imagine to be incredibly grand, that's what I put here. So it's not going to be exact, but it's something that I thought was imaginative. Yeah, I used my imagination. So I was pretty happy with using my imagination. And I think it turned out alright. I would much prefer this throne room over the other one. That's just my personal opinion, of course. But it would be really interesting to see what others would do with this throne room, others would do with the interior layout. If you wanted to redo it, I'd love to know what you actually had it like in the end, if you want to redo it. So show me on Twitter. If you're on Twitter and if you do redecorate this house, or if you do redecorate another one of my houses, let me know and share pictures with me, because I love to see remakes. I love to see the houses being used. It's so important to me. And also, if you do actually want to have a vote in what I create next, I do so many polls and things on Twitter. So recently I did a poll about the next creation after this, because a lot of people are curious. I actually rebuilt Rapunzel's tower because of what the poll said. So I will be following a lot of polls, and yeah, I mean, if you do want to see upcoming creations, I've also got Hogwarts on there, because I'm doing this video after I built Hogwarts and Rapunzel's tower in a day. So it's a pretty interesting weekend. I rebuilt Hogwarts and I built Rapunzel's tower, and I really enjoyed it. But I didn't have like a fun Saturday, I guess. I had a fun Saturday when it came to building, but was it boring? Yes, it was. It was so boring. And that is just because the weather has been really bad where I am at the moment. It's really strange, because I actually went for a hair appointment the other day, and I went out and it was just blazing sunshine. So I went out in a dress and I was really happy, and I went out and I got all dressed up, and then I came out the hairdressers and it was pouring down with rain. It was thundering, it was lightning, and it was just awful. But I was really confused when I left the hairdressers, because I had a different hairdresser this time, and she was pretty harsh with my hair, but I didn't want to say anything because I was too afraid. But I do love the hairdressers that I go to. It's a really cool place, and the people are really nice there that work there. But yeah, I had a different woman, and oh my goodness, I mean, she may as well have just got like a wax strip on my head or something. It was just insane. I've never ever had a hairdresser like that before. But I'm hoping that they'll be able to put me with the same hairdresser each week from now, because there's one that I particularly like that does my hair. So yeah, that's my news for the week. It's not particularly interesting, but then again, nothing interesting has happened to me this week. It's been pretty boring. I had a little bit of a feud with my neighbour. I think my neighbour's been gossiping about me to my landlord and landlady. I don't know what about though. I think it's really strange, but yeah, the neighbours, I mean, if you know my backstory about the neighbours and why I dislike them and stuff, and the dog feuds, it goes back a long way, but I think they've been up to no good again. Anyway, going on to the upstairs. Now, I did have an overflow of rocks coming through to the inside, so I would honestly say that if anyone is thinking of doing like a glass-inspired build, or maybe something similar to enlarging objects like I did, a really good way of making it look really nice on the inside and keeping to the theme instead of like getting rid of the rocks on the outside is to doing something with landscaping. So that's what I did here. I think it looks really nice. Of course, it's not going to be what everyone likes, but I really, really like it. And I thought it was unusual because I've never done anything like that before. And I would definitely imagine that in the interior of the build, it would have a lot of places in the build that would be overflowing. So I loved that idea about plants coming through to the inside. Anyway, this was Sebastian's room. So of course I had to include Sebastian because he is my favourite character. He actually reminds me of my granddad and it's really odd. But I do mention my granddad a lot now. I mentioned him on my last video and that was because we used to play Little Mermaid when I was growing up together. But yeah, he did remind me of Sebastian. And I thought that this room really suited him. I thought it was a cute room. So I didn't want to go too over the top and include like too many crab things. I don't think we have any crab things anyway. And also you will notice a lack of fish in bowls in this build and also like fish on walls and stuff. I don't know if a lot of people were expecting me to put fish on walls or fish in bowls, but the reason why I didn't is because that would mean that the fish were kept in captivity. So I think that this would be a very free world. It would be a very free place. So as much as the stereotype would be that, yeah, there'd be loads of fish here and stuff, I just thought, no, it actually wouldn't be like that. It would just be a free place for everyone. So Sebastian's room actually finished off with a fish tank in it, I think. And the only reason for that is because I would imagine that maybe Sebastian wants to sleep in the fish tank at night. So that's why that's there. So you could also keep it empty if you really wanted to stick to what I would imagine it being. Of course, it's up to you what you want to do with it. Anyway, this was the girls' room in here. So I wanted to include all their beds together. It's not going to be exactly like the room in the film, but that was just because it was a really awkward layout and I didn't have the right beds. I didn't have the right lot of stuff. I also really, really want spiral staircases, and that is something that I've been saying for a while, but would it have looked good in this build? Yeah, it would have probably made this room, to be honest, but I just couldn't have one. But I think it still looks nice. So Ariel's bed would of course be the one away from everyone else's because she's a little bit of a loose cannon. And I don't imagine that any of the sisters would actually want to maybe share a room with Ariel because she's just so rebellious and maybe she gets told off a lot. So yeah, maybe she's just kept away from everyone else a little bit just because she breaks the rules so much. Anyway, I put a little bathroom here because I didn't want to have the bathrooms in like really big places throughout the build. So you will notice as well that the bathrooms are in very, very small rooms. Some are at the front as well. So if you see a bathroom with like arched windows, the idea for that would have been that maybe in the bathroom, when they wanted to use it, they would have actually just closed the curtains and that would have been the bathroom in there. Anyway, there is a little statue of the mother in the bedroom because I thought that would be a really cute idea. And that statue does actually remind me of a mermaid anyway. So yeah, I had a little cry over that. No, I didn't really, but I did have a little tear in my eye. Anyway, this was the upstairs. So the father's bedroom and also the nanny, so Ursula, their rooms were actually going to lead down to the girls' room. And I thought that would be pretty accurate because maybe the father would want to see all his daughters in the morning and that would be a really cute family relationship where he would come and see all his daughters in the morning, which is so cute. And of course the nanny would need to be close to the girls anyway because she would need to check on them. And yeah, it would just make sense. It would make sense for me to have the girls' room leading up to these rooms and it wouldn't be like the girls would ever go up here anyway. So Ursula's room would of course be private to her quarters and the dad's room, well, maybe they could go in the dad's room actually and go and see him in the morning. But I just thought it would be really nice and it just reminded me of like a proper family friendship. So that's what I wanted there. I did also put some fish sculptures and things around. So anything that I could think of that would look like it was taken from the ocean, I did. I think the only thing that I did leave out in this build was actually Ariel's place where she keeps everything. Now that was a suggestion that I absolutely loved and I really, really wanted to do it. I just couldn't find anywhere to put it. And if you did want to do it, then of course you could do it yourself. You could actually do it maybe on the back bit of the build, maybe in like the watery parts or something. You could lead down from the basement and do that, and that would be pretty cool. Anyway, this was Ursula's room. So Ursula's room has that really weird monster, the creepy one that rubs her feet. It's really awesome. But yeah, I wanted to put him in because I thought, well, okay, maybe we're going to the prequel, maybe they would be there again, and you can have some real fun with that if you wanted to. I just thought that he would maybe just be up here. I don't know why, but yeah, that's what I did. And she also has some really spooky spirits in her room. She also has like a mirror because I would imagine Ursula to be quite vain. And I love her. I absolutely love her. I'm going to do a creator sim of her, so if you actually want to see that, then stick around the channel because that will be coming up really, really shortly after this video, and also a creator sim of Ariel because I love creator sims so much. This was King Triton's room. So I went for a massive yellow bed. It was actually pretty similar to the way that Elsa's Frozen Castle bedroom turned out. I think, anyway. I've started to use like similar things for these Disney princess rooms just because I love the fairy tale idea. So I definitely wanted running water. I definitely wanted like plants and all that sort of stuff. So it was a lot of fun to actually do this because I actually ended up with like, it was a little bit as if a tidal wave came over the bed, and it's got running water, and it's also got plants and gold sculptures, maybe of the wife, because that would be so cute. And maybe he would actually find love again. I know that a lot of people would maybe think, no, she was the only one for him. But maybe it's his chance to actually find happiness again. So yeah, if you actually wanted to play with this house and use your own characters, maybe he actually could. Maybe he could find someone else, or maybe the wife could come back to life. But anyway, that is the end of the build. So I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see all future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.